On today's episode of Monday Maps, I'm animating the Lonely Mountain from Middle-earth. I'm going to be using assets from today's sponsor, Envato Elements. Once you have a subscription to Envato Elements, you get access to over 56 million assets. This includes stock photos, stock video, graphics, Adobe templates, textures, fonts, music, sound effects, all kinds of crazy stuff. They offer a nice and clean, simple lifetime commercial license, which is good even after your subscription ends. Following the link in the video description is going to give you 50% off when you select an annual subscription, which is going to give you access to everything on the site for less than $20 a month. For real, go check it out. The first thing I need is a good dragon. So here I have some cool fantasy shapes, retro vintage. I'm going to open these up inside of Adobe Illustrator and select the one that I want. And using the premium plugin Overlord, I'm just going to shoot this on over to my After Effects project here as a nice shape element. So to bring this to life, I'm going to be using the puppet pin tool. So right up here, I'm going to grab this. Now there's a bunch of different options here. You have a position pin tool, you have a starch pin, bend, advanced, overlap. But let's try to keep this simple. So this works really well on vector objects. So what I want to do here is I want to essentially have like the wings flapping and maybe the tail moving a little bit. So I can just grab some position pins and kind of start to make sure that I've got kind of the main areas pinned off that I don't want to move. So basically the legs here, let's pin those down. The dragon's head, and then right at the base of the wings, I probably want to keep that nice and firmed up, and then maybe at the base of the tail here. Now don't worry, if you're putting a pin or dropping a pin, you can always change that pin later on, so don't be too worried about that. Now I'm going to switch to advanced. Let's grab the advanced pin tool. The advanced pin tool is going to allow you to rotate and scale as well. And if you open up the actual layer, which I'm going to rename Dragon, or what the heck, let's name it Smaug. And if you open up effects, you can see there's a new puppet effect. And if you open up mesh, deform, it has all of the puppet pins here. And as I select them, it will show you which one is which. Up here, you also have a mesh show checkbox. So if you don't see the mesh, just simply check that on and off. Now, if you're trying to use this, and just be aware if you're using this on like I can't see the camera. If you're using this on like a JPEG or some other image that doesn't have that alpha channel or those clean edges, you're not going to be able to manipulate this way. So you have to have, something that is that cut out with alpha edges. So let's see here. I'm going to add some advanced pins to the wings right here where I want them to be bending. So right here. And you can see now with this pin placed, I can now rotate it like this. But if you look as I rotate it, this is looking really gnarly. I want that to be a little bit more firmed up. So I can grab this starch pin tool. And as I start to drop these pins there, you can see that the mesh is getting nice and thick. You know what? I think I put that advanced pin up a little too high. So let's just bring it back down to like here maybe. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. And I'm going to drop starch pins over here as well on this side. And let's see how this one looks. Okay, this one's looking good. And I can go ahead and starch up the tail as well. And then drop another advanced pin right at the end of the tail. So I can rotate, just have this kind of tweak around a bit. Okay, so there's a couple of different recording options when it comes to the pins. You can like hold the control key and then move pins around and have them automatically animate. But I'm going to be keyframing these. And also, I don't think you can hold the control key and animate rotation. So maybe you can't do that. Now, the way I'm going to have this set up is I want it to be really simple. I just want a simple looping animation. What I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to do 2 keyframes for each parameter that I'm animating, and then I'm going to have it loop and do like a loop out ping pong so that it animates and then essentially just goes back and forth forever. And I want that to be over the course of 1 second. So I guess the start point will be here. And if you look, if I full screen this, you can see that as I added these puppet pin tools, keyframes were automatically added. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the U key. You can see there's keyframes. So now I'm just going to go to the 1 second mark here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move and where I want it to be on the second position here. So let's say we want it to second position to be here for that one, second position to be here for this one. And we want the tail to like flip up as it's going. All right, let's see what this looks like. Okay. Now what I need to do is for these three that are here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, let's go grab the motion extension. What I want to do here is I want to add this ease so that it starts off a little slow and kind of ramps up. There we go. And now I'm going to kind of solo these. So let's solo these keyframes. I just hit the SS key. I'm going to alt click and I'm going to add an expression called loop out. And then I'm going to hit parentheses, ping pong. Okay, and now I can go and I can just copy this expression and I can paste it. Wait, I can just paste it like this. Yeah. All right, let's see what we got now. Okay, so now we've got a flapping, flying dragon. So I'm going to grab this comp, bring it into another comp, and let's just call this one Smaug. And then I'll call the master comp the Lonely Mountain. Now I'm going to go grab that old isolated paper that I love so much, drag it underneath my dragon. So now we've got this parchment. I'm going to transform, automatically fit it to the comp. Okay, and now I want to start to blend the dragon in. So what I can do here is I think I want to actually go back to the layer here. And so we have the puppet effect on here. I'm going to go ahead and add a roughen edges. And I'm going to put the roughen edges effect before the puppet tool because I want it to take effect before. There's a specific render order with effects there. Okay, so now I got, sweet. I got my little dragon flapping its wings here on the cool old isolated paper. But it needs to kind of bounce up and down. So same thing. But it's important here that I make this animation. I'm going to animate the comp, the pre-comp, but it's important that I keep it in time with my other animation. So I'm going to go right to the 1 second mark. It's important that these match up exactly, otherwise these are going to be off. So we'll start there, and then at the end, it'll kind of go up a little bit. And then go ahead, add the same easing and the same loop. So loop out, ping pong. Now let's see how our dragon looks. All right, that's cool. I also want to turn on motion blur. Turn on motion blur for that. I'll wait until I render it out. Now I need a mountain. So if I go back here to Envato Elements, I've got these cool hand-drawn mountains. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of those, bring it in, scale it down. And it's looking a little too wide for me. So I'll just, kind of crush this and deform it a little bit. And maybe I'll just go ahead and roughen the edges of this one as well. We'll do rusty color just to make it blend a little bit more, make it look a little bit inkier. Pretty close to being done. I'm just going to bring the dragon over here. Now I'm going to add some text, and I've actually downloaded this font from Envato called Mythshire, which looks really good to fit the theme. Panels are going crazy here. So I've got Mythshire. Now I'm just going to type the Lonely Mountain. Now we'll just give it some cool formatting here. See if I can maybe bring that down. There should be more of a square aspect ratio for this one. Okay, and it's still not looking grungy enough, so I'm going to go grab some, like from my last video, I had these watercolor textures. There's a ton of textures on Envato. So I'm going to go grab one of those, or go grab a bunch of those. Let's try G8. Drop this one on top. And I'm going to add a tint effect and then change the blend mode to soft light. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. And why don't I just layer them up? So I'll do another one. Tint. Soft light. That's looking good. Let me just duplicate it. I think I could just duplicate it and then Alt, click and drag another one in there, and it's gonna, there we go. Okay, now I'll just add some roughen edges to my text. Move my Smaug over a little bit. Whoops, oh no, I forgot that I shouldn't have moved his position. I messed it up. So let me get rid of that, and you actually gotta select both of them. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so there you have it. There's a quick little Lonely Mountain animation for you. If you liked it, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button.